Young Noble, my brother, Young Noble, brother, friend, collaborator, ally, co-worker, reportedly took his life on July 4th. And I don't know how to feel. You know, a lot of times, you know, if you watch me blog enough, you'll hear me say certain things more than once. You know what I'm saying? You're going to hear me certain themes in life in regards to the street or the industry or other rappers. You will hear me say on multiple occasions because, you know, it comes up. One of those things is I don't have many rap friends. Like people within the industry that I didn't come up with. And I don't even consider Young Noble an industry. The few rap friends that I do have, I don't really consider them industry friends because they, for the most part, most of them are outliers of the industry anyway, but that's irrelevant. Point is, I don't really rock with people like that. I just don't. You know what I mean? I always talk about how Ruck was more the people person out of the group. You know, me and Helter Skelter. You know, while he was bonding with all of these dope rappers out there, you know what I mean? While he was helping the resurgence of the underground, you know, giving shots to a lot of your favorite underground rap. I was on the block with the rappers there. You know what I mean? I say all that to say, Noble was definitely one of my closest friends. Like, ain't no rappers nowhere in the industry could say I slept at their crib before, except the Outlawz. None of them. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just, it hurts. And man, it hurts. The industry is, you know, all the outpour love. All the love is outpouring. I have to tell y'all something though. I mean, the industry, you know, to all of y'all, you know, with the outpourings of love, it's too damn late now. I mean, that's how I feel. Myself included. I mean, I'm not hating. I know how it go. But I spoke to Young Noble a few years ago when me and my brother Sterang Wonder was doing the podcast, the Monster Mondays podcast. And I called Noble and I was like, yo, son, you gotta let me, you know, you gotta come on the show, do an interview. Because we was doing interviews regularly on that podcast. Scroll down, it's there. Down at the bottom, you see the episodes, right? Young Noble, plain and simple, flat out told me no. He didn't just tell me no. He was like, hell nah, rap. I'm not doing no interviews. It's like, I'm done with this. He said, I'm about to quit this shit. He's like, I'm like, what? Son, in my opinion, was the rappingest outlaw, right? You know what I mean? Like, he rapped the most from my vantage point. You know, they all were some hard workers, right? But he seemed to rap the most to me. As far as my naked eye could see, right? And, you know, it didn't make no sense to me. I'm like, what's going on, bro? He was like, son, they don't give a fuck about us. He's like, he's like, man, they all these, he went on this rant of how nobody cared. And I saw, this was a couple of years ago, so I can't remember verbatim. I just remember, the way, the impact that it had on me, right? The way it made me feel, pause. And to better understand what he said, he repeated those words or a version of that in an interview with, I believe, Art of Dialogue, right? He echoed those words that he said to me on the phone, but just it's years later now because this interview just happened earlier this year, like around April or something like that, or it aired in April. It aired. I just seen my dog in Phoenix. Yeah, I know. I live in Tucson as well as New York. Edie and Noble was coming to Phoenix for a show. Called my boy. I ain't seen my boy in wow long. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, y'all coming to Phoenix? He's like, yeah, you coming to hell? Yeah, I'm coming to see you. Went and seen my boys. You know what I mean? And the nigga was in, this was in April. He was in the best spirits. Like, I'm about to adopt a phrase of his. Like when he was introducing me to all of the, to his loved ones that I hadn't met yet. You know what I mean? Like his spirits was just so like he was just so jovial. Is that the word I'm looking for? Like he was so upbeat, so happy, like so proud for me to be meeting his other brother and for his other bros to be meeting me, and a phrase he kept saying was like, yo, I love you with my whole heart. And he meant that shit. I felt that when he said it, pause. Like, real talk. Like, but back to what I was saying. A week or so later, after, we parted ways, I went back to Tucson and they went, continued on their mission. I saw this interview where he said these things. Let me see.
Repping this Outlawz is to bring our story to life. Me and Edie working on this
Hold on a second.
On my last mission as Young Noble. Repping this Outlawz is to bring our story to life. Me and Edie working on this docu-series, Outlawz docu-series. We're trying to do a 5-part series, and we want to do a scripted series. We got so many stories, and we gotta tell our story in a major fashion for Pac and Fatal and Gaddafi and my group deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, you learning all this stuff about me from all these years. Motherfuckers never took the time to ask us. They only worried about what the Tupac ate for breakfast or some silly shit for the headlines, but we real human beings. Yeah, we real human beings that been through some real fucking shit. It ain't a group walking this earth, that been through half what we've been through,
I heard that, before Tupac died, the song you solo.
On my last mission.
Yo, he said a lot in that clip right there. Like a lot. So first of all, at the beginning of, the first half of that clip, is what I was referring to. He's like, niggas ain't give no what's about us all this time. Niggas don't, because this interview was very informative. There's a lot of parts of this interview kind of went viral, right? And it's like you learning all of these exciting ass facts about the boys and all of that, about the group, about him himself, and you know what I mean? He like, nobody ever asked us none of this shit. You learning this now, damn near 30 years later? Like, come on, B. All you want to hear is about what the fuck Tupac ate for breakfast the day before he. Come on, B. You understand what I'm saying? Which is the reason Castro of the Outlawz quit rapping, from my understanding. Castro just got tired of running around singing Tupac songs. Like, he didn't like the way that felt. He just didn't. You know, so he's and Castro was Tupac's blood cousin. And he was like, nah, B, like, you know, like they don't, you know, I feel like it's akin to what Noble was saying. And people really don't get it, B, as far as like they think like this shit is torture. The industry is fucking torture, B. It ain't nothing like what you think it's like before you get in it. All you see, you get in there, you can rap good, or somebody told you can rap, or you seen dope rap, you seen the life, all of the things that attracted you to it. You could have just loved the music, whatever got you, whatever attracted you to the industry. It was not the evils of it. None of that. It wasn't none of that negative shit. It wasn't nobody that said they rob everybody, or the fans forget about you in 15 minutes. They'll turn on you. This is something I want. This is something that's I could get into. Nobody says that ever. It's my dog, baby. And so I'm sitting downstairs, and you know I'm talking to my sis Taz, and my sister Bernadette calls Taz's phone, and she's like, I hear her, you know, she like, Rock sitting across from me, and she said, what, huh? And then she pushed the phone down, and she goes and she tells me that Bernadette is saying something about Young Noble passing away. And Taz was saying his name wrong a little bit. I think she was mixing Outlawz up. And I'm like, She's like, yeah, Bernadette said it's online. I go upstairs because my phone was upstairs. And I open up my phone. Like, you see this? Like, my shit is closed now, right? I open it up. It's still on the last, you know, it's still on IG. Open it up. First post I see just sitting there is Edie announcing to the world that my nigga took his life. So it wasn't no reason for me to question it. It was confirmed in that moment right there. You understand? It came from Edie. You know, then I got a phone call later on, and I seen a couple of videos about it. Like, I could look. It's been radio silence for me ever since then. Like, I ain't blogged. I've gotten to a point where I rarely miss a day without blogging. I miss 2. You know what I'm saying? And like, I couldn't. Never mind how I felt about it. Like, I wasn't physically able to do that. I couldn't come on here like that. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't. Nah, I had to actually wait, you know, just for my emotions to regulate, or for until I was able to regulate my emotions before I can even speak to y'all about this. Like I'm, you know, man. And what helps is the fact that I had a show last night. You know what I'm saying? Duck Down celebrating 30 years. You know what I mean? Smith & Wesson celebrating 30 years. And we had a show in Lincoln Center last night, and it was a good show. So I was kind of riding, you know, I'm kind of still riding off the high of that. You know, see, I still got my wristbands on and all that. So, you know, at at this point I'm able to speak about it without it all falling apart. Noble might have been the coolest outlaw. No disrespect to Noble and Edie. I told Noble and Edie when I saw them in Phoenix. When I saw them or I might have just told Noble this. Well, if Edie, if you see this and you remember to confirm, let me know if I told you this too. I said to these niggas that them two outlaws have the temperament to win in this shit. I might have said the temperament for longevity in this business, something of that nature. Because they, in my opinion, were the most level-headed throughout my relationship with all of them. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't know Castro that well, but I feel like I'm a good judge of character or whatnot, and Castro seemed to have a little bit of I don't give a damn about none of this. I'm out before I hurt somebody or myself. He got a little bit of you cool, I'm out. That's just what I picked up from him. Hilarious jokes, you understand what I'm saying? It was a little bit of ruck. Like that, the little off-center sense of humor surprised me with a lot of things he would say. Some was bugging. He was a wild boy. Napoleon, we all, I think it's been documented, he was a wild card. Fatal, on some street shit, like, bad temper. Fatal, similar. From what I hear, never met Gaddafi. From what I hear, similar. You know what I mean? But Noble and Edie, they is the two smoothest ones. You understand what I'm saying? I never really, I don't think I ever saw Edie angry, ever. Right? You understand? I've seen Noble passionate, not really angry. Like that phone call, that I had with him when he was telling me he wasn't doing my interview because these niggas don't appreciate shit, right? He sounded angry on that phone call and all of that. I never forgot that. I didn't ask him again. I just, he was talking about he was about to move to Italy. I don't think he was talking about moving to Italy. He was like, yo, we need to do some shit, do some new, do a new song, do some more, Noble was a recording machine. Do some more somethings. He said, we shoot a video out there. This nigga was talking about moving to Italy and all that, right? But, I just left it be. You know what I mean? Later on, I saw him rapping again. And not doing interviews, but I saw him rapping again. I felt, a little bit better about it. I know we all go through our, our own, push and pull in our own, within ourselves. Of course, you know what I mean? It's, sometimes you get a little bit of space is all a person really need. You know what I mean? But then other times it ain't, B. I get a phone call from the homie later on. She like, I don't think son did that. Like she said, she's, she was crying foul play. Because everybody's taking Noble's, his usual personality into account. And like he wouldn't do that. But I have to say that I seen my son acting different. You know what I mean? Directly after that Art of Dialogue interview, I seen him online beefing with his brother Napoleon. They was going back and forth. And, I didn't like the way it looked. I reached out to him. I said something about it. And in his response, he really wasn't trying to hear me. You know what I mean? Again, like, these are all my brothers, right? But I'm not to them like what they are to them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they grew up with each other, all, you know what I'm saying? All this stuff. So, you know, I fell back. Next thing, you know, shortly after that, he put out the song Euthanasia, where he was, you know, going at Nas and, you know, everybody who was talking about the Nas Tupac meeting, and, you know, he felt they was misrepresenting the event where it happened and all that. He just went crazy on Nas and all that, pause. And it was like, you know, I didn't like that. You know, it was out of character for him. You know what I'm saying? And then I saw one day he posted online that he was no longer a member of the Outlawz. And that just knocked my hat off my head. I'm like, what? Because mostly because of what I just said about Edie and Noble. I'm like, these are the two most, they struck me as the two most level-headed members in the group. Like, you can't possibly think Edie slighted you. You understand what I'm saying? Like that, you know what I'm saying? So that rang a bell. Like an alarm went off in my head with that. And I honestly feel like it should have went off louder. Like, well, alarm should have rang off way louder than whatever. Like, I'm noticing that this is out of character, but I feel crazy now that I didn't reach out to my nigga, that I didn't try harder. I just fucking made blogs. Like, I reached out to Edie, right? And I'm like, yo, what's going on with Nobe? And this was around the time this year when them fires was going crazy out in Cali. And Edie still live in Cali. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh. So I reached out to Edie, and Edie is like, he's like, I'm like, yo, what's going on with Nobe? He like, Rock, I don't know. I'm out here trying to, you know what I'm saying, stay safe with these fires. All right, I can't put no. What that mean to me? You understand? Cali is on complete fire right now, and I'm talking to him. All right, I backed away, right, and I honestly didn't know how to approach the situation with Noble. He was on one, and I never seen him like that before. You understand what I'm saying? I started to feel like it was the cool nigga crash out. This is something that exists. I've seen it a lot of times. I used to refer to it as a modification of the Napoleon complex, you know, where it's not that you short, it's just that you cool, and you think niggas think you too cool, they could play with you a certain kind of way. And I've seen a lot of niggas crash out because of that. Like, yo, I'm cool, I'm not soft, and you're gonna stop playing with me one way or the other, and then they crash out. And I've seen that multiple times, and I was starting to feel like this was what it was, right? You know, this is what it was looking like to me. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. I feel crazy. I miss my dog already. He was one of the first people I told that I was gonna be a father. Like, where nobody knew, he was one of 2 or 3 people who knew. He might have been first. He might have been. And because I was terrified, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you know, I was terrified of fatherhood and all of that, and co-parenting and all of that. You know, I seen all of the fucking horror stories from all of my friends, well, a lot of my friends and so on. And, you know, son said a few kind words to me that made me feel better about the whole situation. Like, amazing. Damn, bro. Rest in peace, young Noble. My bro Rufus Cooper. I laughed at his name. I'm like, Rufus. First told me his name was Rufus, I had wild jokes. Knowing my pop's name Rufus, and I got a brother named Rufus, but I don't really know them, so that don't count, right? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, and he got a brother named Sean, and I got a brother named Sean. Like, we just had so many weird things that were oh shit moments, you know, that we bonded over. And in a lot of ways, we was the same type of dude. You know what I mean? You know, my condolences to his family, to his brother, his daughter, his fans, Idi Amin, all of the outlaws, all of the remaining outlaws, U2 Storm, Castro, Napoleon. Y'all gonna always be family to me, no matter what y'all go through. Y'all part of the reason I love California so much. All of those times when I first started going out there, and it was y'all. Like, y'all was a big part of the reason why I felt so safe. I felt so loved. I felt so at home. I felt so protected. I felt so connected. And y'all ain't even from there. So back to what I was saying, Sis was like, I don't believe that he would just do that to himself. Like I said, I seen a couple of other dudes making videos about, you know, on the same type of time. And I said this to Sis. I'm like, yo, niggas be going through it. I know. Right? Like, I'm like, I have conversations with you when you tell me you be going through it. Like, you be ready to, you know what I'm saying? Like the hell with this shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I might not express it to you, but I have the conversations with myself. You know what I mean? Like, niggas be going through it, and you got to take some situation into consideration. First, like I said, rap depresses all. You know what I'm saying? You got the street life. We grow up in these ghettos. We losing loved ones and this, that, and the third, right? Son went through that. Even before Pac. Even before all of his group members passed away. Like, if I'm not mistaken, in that interview, he said he moved to Cali. Like, he was born in Cali, I believe. He moved to Jersey as a local youth, right? Like 8 years old. But he was getting in trouble, and two of his homeboys, you know, two dudes he looked up to or he respected, two dudes he was close, they passed away, and that kind of prompted or influenced his move back to Cali. So he was in Cali when Tupac was forming the Outlawz and all of that, and Fatal and Gaddafi went out there and they just called their homeboy from Jersey. And he linked up with them, and that started his run with them. You know, shortly after that, he became an outlaw and so on and so forth, right? But he was out there already PTSD'd up, losing loved ones and all that, right? And then you build a relationship with somebody like Tupac, B. And not only is Tupac your friend, Tupac is damn near like a father figure. He's your mentor, he big bro, he all of that. And he a good dude. It's one thing to lose a loved one, right? It's one thing to lose Tupac. It's one thing to lose a father or a father figure. When all of those is the same thing, that's crazy, right? Then he loses man Gaddafi like a month later. Like one of the dudes who brung him to the Outlawz. You understand what I'm saying? Responsible for him even knowing Tupac. You lose him. Fatal lead a group, you know, they busting their moves, this, that, or the. Lose Fatal, the other dude he knew first before all of this. That's craziness. I don't make a lot of songs about Sean Price because I cry when I write them. I don't need that. Please believe every time. Shine Down, Rumble for Me, Fraternity, Nah, P. I'm watching some videos. He put out a lot of music last year. Son is by himself in all of those videos. One of those songs, he's describing, he's talking, is a dedication song to Pac, Fatal, and Gaddafi. He's spitting all that pain, and he in that video by himself. You feel that pain when you spitting that shit. That shit run through you. He there by himself. Nobody to give him a hug after through none of that. I mean, that's just the way it appears. This is me looking at it all after he passed away. You know what I mean? But yeah, you lose all of those people. Then you lose your mother this year? Your moms, B? If it was too much, I understand. Cause it is too much. It's too much for anybody. It is. It just is. And that's not even counting all of the other people that he may love that passed away that wasn't famous. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Big Sight. Salute to him too. You understand what I'm saying? It's another official or unofficial, whatever, member of the Outlawz. Respectfully. Like, you lose all of that, B? You can't be normal. You can't be. Nah, bruh. Same way if your muscle get hit too hard, you know, shit might break or your bone might break or something. You know, these athletes tearing Achilles and all that from that stress on the muscles or that stress on that bone. Pause. It's the same thing with the brain, B. It's only so much you could take, bro. So my bro Edie, stand strong, bro. Love you. Real talk. With my whole heart, my nigga. Continue on your journey. Fitness and health and all of that. And let's all get some therapy. Real talk. Rest in peace with my nigga, yo. I'm out. I'll talk to y'all later. Welcome to the nation. I am your host, your president, your tour guide, Mr. Monsta Man Rocco. I'm the landlord, the owner, tenant, the janitor. I'm ops the damn floor. Let's go.